My name is Elena Reyes, and for 3 years ago I was nobody. 24 years old, fresh off a greyhound from a dying town in Nueva Ecija, carrying one suitcase and a heart still, bruised from a mother who drank more than she loved. Manila swallowed me whole, but it didn't kill me. It just made me practical. I answered an ad, live-in maid, good salary, Makati condo, 1 occupant. The agency warned me the employer was matigas ang ulo, stubborn, ill-tempered, impossible to please. They weren't wrong. Rafael Lim was 32, heir to a shipping fortune and freshly divorced. The tabloids called him the Ice Prince of the South China Sea. When I first met him, he barely looked at me. He was on the phone, pacing the floor-to-ceiling windows of his penthouse, barking orders in rapid English and clipped Fukian. He pointed at my suitcase without breaking conversation. Rooms down the hall. Laundry rooms beside it. I leave at 6:30. Come back whenever. Don't touch the office. Don't touch the piano. Don't talk to me unless I talk first. That was the entire job interview. The condo was a museum of cold luxury. White marble, black steel, glass that showed the whole glittering city like a cruel diorama. My room was small, windowless, but it had its own bathroom and a lock. I told myself that was enough. The first month I was invisible. I woke at 5, brewed his long black coffee exactly the way he liked. 2 shots. 92 degrees, no sugar, left it on the counter with 2 slices of toasted pan de sal and queso, the bola shaved paper thin. I ironed his suits while he showered, laid them on the bed like offerings. I scrubbed floors he never walked on barefoot. He never said thank you, never please, never even my name. I was you there, or on better days, nothing at all. Then came the night of the storm. Typhoon Signal 4. The city shut down, streets flooded, power flickered. Rafael came home early for once, soaked to the bone, tie askew, eyes bloodshot. He slammed the door so hard the chandelier trembled. I was in the kitchen, heating leftover sinigang, because the stove was the only thing still working. He stood in the doorway, dripping on Italian tile. "You're still here," he said, like it surprised him. "Where would I go, sir?" The train stopped. He stared at me a long time. Then he laughed. Short, bitter, nothing like amusement. "Of course. Even the help can't escape me." He disappeared into his room. I thought that was the end of it. An hour later, he came out wearing an old college shirt and track pants. Hair still wet. He sat at the counter and watched me stir the tamarind broth. "That smells like my Lola's," he said quietly. I didn't know what to do with softness from him, so I just nodded. He ate 2 bowls without speaking, then pushed the bowl away and laid his head on his folded arms like a tired child. I pretended not to notice the way his shoulders shook once, twice. The power went out completely. The city disappeared behind the glass, leaving only lightning flashes. I lit candles, the fancy scented ones he never used, and set one beside him. He looked up. "You're not scared of the dark?" "I grew up with brownouts every night, sir. Candles feel like home." He studied my face in the flickering light. "What's your name again?" "Elena, sir." "Stop calling me sir. Makes me feel like my father." He paused. "Just Rafael." I thought he'd regret it in the morning, but the next day he used my name. "Elena, can you press the navy suit?" "Elena, did the dry cleaning come?" "Elena, do we have mangoes?" Small things. Earthquakes start that way. He began staying home more. Canceled dinners, ignored calls. I'd find him at 2 a.m. sitting at the piano he'd told me never to touch, playing quiet, aching jazz standards. I'd stand in the hallway listening, unseen. until the last note died and he closed the fallboard like he was closing a coffin. One night he caught me. "You like Bill Evans?" he asked. My father did. He had one cassette tape. Played it until the ribbon snapped. He pulled the bench out. "Sit." I shook my head. "I don't know how." "I'll teach you." His hands covered mine on the keys. I remember the warmth more than the music. How careful he was not to press too hard. How he smelled like cedar and sleeplessness. We played one clumsy chorus of Waltz for Debbie. When we finished, he didn't move his hands. "You have calluses," he said. "From carrying rice sacks, from scrubbing floors, from holding my mother's hair while she vomited gin." I didn't say any of that. "Real hands," he murmured almost to himself. After that, the rules dissolved like sugar in rain. He started asking questions. Where I studied, up to second-year college. Scholarship lost when my mother got sick. What I wanted to be, teacher once upon a time. If I had a boyfriend, I laughed. Men don't date maids. He listened like I was telling him state secrets. He bought me books, paperbacks at first, then hardbounds, then a second-hand upright piano that took up half my tiny room. "So you can practice without me hovering," he said, cheeks pink. I cooked for him the food of my childhood. Dinuguan. Kare kare chicken adobo so tender it fell off the bone. He ate like a starving man, eyes closed, humming with pleasure. Once he licked the plate and caught himself, horrified. I laughed until I cried, and he laughed with me, the sound bright and shocked, like he'd forgotten he knew how. We never talked about what we were becoming. Some nights he fell asleep on the sofa watching old Filipino movies with me, head heavy on my shoulder. I didn't move until morning, pins and needles in my arm, terrified to wake him and break the spell. The first time he kissed me, I was washing dishes. He came behind me, took the plate from my soap-slick hands, set it down, and turned me around like I was made of glass. "Elena," he said, voice rough, "tell me to stop and I will." I didn't tell him to stop. We made love on the kitchen floor because we couldn't make it to a bed. Afterwards, he wrapped me in his arms and cried, silent, shoulder-shaking sobs against my neck. "I don't deserve this," he whispered. "I don't deserve you." I stroked his hair. "Then spend the rest of your life trying to?" But the world outside the penthouse had other plans. His mother arrived unannounced one Tuesday morning, designer bag swinging like a weapon. She took one look at me in the kitchen, wearing Raphael's shirt, hair still tousled from sleep, and her face turned to stone. "You're the maid," she said like an accusation. Raphael appeared, barefoot, furious. "She has a name. I know exactly who she is, and I know what girls like her want." I wanted to disappear, but Raphael stepped between us. "Her name is Elena, and she's the reason I'm still breathing. You will speak to her with respect, or you will leave." His mother left, but she didn't surrender. Phone calls, threats to cut him off, tears that could fill Manila Bay. Society friends whispered. The divorce had been scandal enough. Now the heir was sleeping with the help. He asked me to marry him on a Tuesday night, same as any other. While I was ironing his shirt for a board meeting he no longer cared about. He went down on one knee in his boxers, holding a ring he'd bought months earlier, and carried like a secret. "Marry me, Elena Reyes. Let me spend every day proving I'm worthy of the miracle of you." I said yes with tears and laughter and his shirt half ironed in my hands. We married quietly, courthouse. 2 witnesses, his driver and my old college friend who cried harder than I did. I wore a simple white dress from Divisoria. He wore the smile I'd fallen in love with. His mother didn't come. Half the family didn't come. The newspapers had a field day, shipping Air Wed's former maid. We didn't care. 3 years later, I teach grade 5 in a public school in Quezon City. I still wake at 5, but now it's to kiss my husband before he leaves for the office. He actually enjoys running. The piano in our house, not a museum condo, is scarred and loved, and always slightly out of tune, because our daughter, Lucia, bangs on it with plastic spoons. Sometimes when the house is quiet and Lucia is asleep, Raphael pulls me into the kitchen, puts on our song, still that clumsy waltz for Debbie, and we dance between the table and the fridge, barefoot, laughing when we step on each other's toes. He still calls me his miracle. And every single day I believe him, because I was his maid, yes. Then he fell in love with me. And somehow, against every rule of the world we were born into, I let myself fall back.